What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode number 46 of Reezy Talks. Today, we're going to be talking to my good friend, Josh McAllery, aka Vogue Squared, a full-time eBay clothing seller. And we're going to learn a lot about eBay, selling clothes, and about Josh. What's up, Josh?
How's it going, man?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad. Been busy. Always busy.
Yeah, before the live show started, I was just asking Josh. I was like, "What's up with your YouTube?" And he said he's same thing, just been really busy. 'Cause you're like a one man show, right?
Yeah, I mean, I have a couple assistants that they photograph and measure like all the clothing and shoes and hard goods and stuff for me. But
Are they part
right now
time
I'm
or
doing
full time?
what's that?
Part time, full time.
They're kind of like a as needed basis. So I would say part time, a few times a week.
Nice. And how often are you sourcing?
I've been up and up my sourcing lately. I used to only do it about once a week, but now I'm up to about 2 or 3 times a week.
Nice. Yeah. If you're not sourcing, you're not making money.
Yeah, I mean, I get enough. I could still do once a week, but I've really noticed, like, now that I've been doing 2 to 3 times a week, this stuff has gotten. I mean, there's just a lot better.
Where do you live at?
I live in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
And dude, some of the stuff you post on Instagram is so fire, dude. I'm about to start accusing you of planting shit.
I think it helps that I mean I'm in a college town, so University of Michigan is here. I'm like a mile from the stadium, but I think it helps. Like college towns, you get a lot of the in season stuff. Kids are
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't understand that, but I think I know that from books as well. Is that college towns are some of the best areas to go thrifting, right?
Yeah, and I mean Michigan's nice because you get all 4 seasons, so you're gonna get just across the board all types of clothing. So I think that helps a little bit too.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know Josh, his Instagram is Vogue Squared. I didn't get time to put the link in the description right now before the live show. I actually just got back from the bins and like got here 10 minutes before the show, so I barely made it in time. Which is also why you might see me snacking during the show. But after the show, I will put his information down below so you can go down there or you can just look him up on Instagram and also subscribe to his YouTube channel. If you're listening on the podcast, that information should be in the show notes as well. How long have you been a full-time reseller for, Josh?
Just over 2 years now. So 2 years ago, I was doing my MBA at Michigan State, and after first semester, I decided that working for another person wasn't for me, not something that I wanted to do. And so I gave myself, so you get winter break off, so that was a month long. So I gave myself that month just to hit eBay as hard as I possibly could, and see how it did. And
So you didn't finish college?
I graduated undergrad from Michigan State with a education and social studies degree.
Nice. Well, that's good for you, man. A lot of people don't make it that far. I didn't make it past 10th grade, man. So
My mom, I think, didn't. She didn't graduate. I think she was like 10th grade too.
So, how'd you get into eBay? Let's talk about that.
I started reselling when I was 17 on eBay. My best friend at the time, he actually had started when he was like 15, and he ended up paying for his trip to England for a month one summer. And I was like, damn, I got to get on this. And so I started hitting up his spots. He's probably a little pissed, but that's we kind of bounced ideas off each other. He's a cool dude. He now lives in Thailand.
Still reselling?
Now he lives in Thailand now, teaching English.
Oh, wow. It's crazy.
Yeah, I was hoping he was going to come back earlier. He was supposed to move back in May, and then we were going to partner up and really bring my business to the next level. But he just informed me earlier this week or last week that he's probably going to stay another year. So that kind of sucks.
Yeah. Partners are good. A lot of people say they're bad, but I like having a partner. It's a nice balance to the equation.
Yeah, I mean, I would have still stayed full owner of the business because he was only looking to do it for like 3 or 5 years because he really wants to live in Thailand. But I was like, dude, you can make bank for 3 to 5 years and go live like a king over in Thailand.
Yeah, live like a serious king from what
Yeah,
I've heard.
yeah.
How old are you, Josh?
27.
Yeah, not too much younger than me. Pretty similar. I feel like there's a big gap, 27 to 33. I feel like I'm in old man status.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah,
You don't
just
act
a
like an
little
old man.
bit. Everyone's like, "Yeah, you're not old." And I'm like, "I decide what's old. You don't decide, I decide." My knees are definitely old. So, how did you end up doing clothing? Is that something like, I didn't get into clothing. How did you decide to get into clothing?
Uh, I don't know if I think it was just easy. I mean, again, my best friend started, and I kind of just mirrored what he did, and yeah, I just
You didn't
gravitated.
choose the game chose you.
I guess so, yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, kind of just did what he did, and I just find men's clothing a lot more interesting. I hate selling women's clothing unless it's like North Face or Patagonia or Lululemon, the usual. But I think in this type of business, in the clothing business, uh, you really have to stick with kind of a little bit what you know and also what interests you, because if you don't, I feel like you're just gonna get burnt out real quick, and you're gonna hate your job.
Right.
And I don't even actually view this as a job. Uh, I don't know. It's kind of weird, but
So, yeah, I totally agree with you too, because not only do I not really know clothing, and it's like, yeah, I'm just a skater. I swear, like Dickies and a t-shirt and a hat, like I'm cool. But obviously, like, certain hype stuff is like you'd have to be an idiot to not know, that stuff is worth money or whatever. But women's clothing seems like I'm scared of it, man. Like if I was to sell women's clothing, I would look up every single thing, and like I
yeah.
I just imagine Nicole State just laughing at me, and like Posh Hanger, they're just laughing at me. I'm like looking up like Target brand women's like
No,
like
I'm
the
in the
dumbest
same
stuff.
boat. Like I'll try to go over to the women's section and flip through some stuff, but I'm just like, nah, this sucks. And I don't even know what the name of this stuff is. They have so many different styles and sizings different for every single brand, whereas men's clothing, like a small, medium, large is essentially a small, medium, large across the board, every single brand.
Is that shirt that you're wearing thrifted?
Yeah, well, this is from I bought this off my assistants. So they actually thrift too. They're Dank Vintage on Instagram. They usually do the bins though. I've never been to the bins, but yeah, this is a true vintage Detroit Vipers IHL hockey.
Nice. So you have bins where you live. You've never been there.
Yeah, there's one in Detroit, and then there's one in Pontiac.
That's awesome that you're able to make a living without going there. A lot of people, I see them saying, well, you're lucky you have a bins. I don't have a bins, so I can't do clothing. But that's not necessarily true. And a lot of people also, they're like, well, I don't have any stores. And they don't know that some people drive 2 hours every day to get to their sourcing spots, right? So,
Oh yeah, I know Secondhand Swagger. I don't know if you follow him on
oh
Instagram.
yeah, Dom's the man.
That guy just is a driving machine. Well, now that he has a kid, I think he's kind of curbed a little bit. I think he's moved more to Amazon, but that before his kid, he used to just truck everywhere.
I want to address a comment right here in the chat. My friend Alexander, he's a freshman in high school in Canada. He sells books and does a little bit of eBay. He said, "I'm scared of all clothing, period." And I know exactly how he feels, right? Because it's like it's it's just unknown, right? And it doesn't have barcodes. It's not like books where you can just scan it and then know what it's worth and get through them quickly, right? But with the downside comes a plus side is that I think it's an untapped gold mine. I'm fairly certain of this. Like almost every single time I go looking for clothing, I find stuff. Not, like grail items, but like plenty of, buy it for a quarter, sell it for, $12 or something, which is if you get enough of those, you can easily make a living off that. And I'm pretty certain, man, clothing is like the last unexplored frontier of you know, used stuff, right? Because it doesn't have barcodes, so you can't scan it. You have to look up stuff. You have to know stuff. And even if you think you know, I feel like this is how I feel like clothing is. I feel like clothing is so diverse and it's like based off what you know, and hardly anyone is looking up every single item, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like 3 or 4 experienced thrifters could go into a store and could all come out with armfuls of stuff, different stuff. Like that's going to make money. Like just like it doesn't matter because there's just so much availability of clothing, right? Like in America, we just have a ridiculous amount of clothing that just gets destroyed every year. It's just waiting for us to come pick it up.
Oh yeah, definitely agree with that. That's the thing is like the abundance, really. The abundance. Someone said in the comments the cost of entry is super low. It's $0 really, because you can just go through your closet and start off with that and just keep flipping it over like stuff you've never wear anymore. Just throw that.
And that's how Posh Hanger started. She started selling her suits that she used to go do her bank job in.
She's probably rocking like $3,000 suits though. Let's be honest.
I don't know. I think it maybe was like $300 suits at the time,
Okay.
but who knows?
With inflation though, maybe that's
I don't come from the $3,000 suit world.
you and I both. You
I
and
got
I.
the same. I gotta hit up Travel and Thrift and get me some nice kicks because I got these like. I think I have like some $30 Payless shoes that I wear when I go to a wedding. That's about it.
Get some Cole Haans, man.
Yeah, see, we're dropping brand knowledge right now, man. Do you do mostly clothing or you do shoes also, used shoes?
I do any men's. I do hats, clothing, shoes. I've been doing a little bit of furniture. Furniture is big money. Just got to kind of know what you got, and
Furniture?
it can be a little daunting. It's fairly simple.
So are you
Uh,
storing that in your garage or what? Or do you
no,
have
so
it all in
I'm
your
in a
house?
3-bedroom house that I currently rent. So I'll be looking to buy a house this year because I needed to show 2 years of tax returns before I could get a mortgage for the mortgage company.
Right.
I'm in a 3-bedroom house with a full basement, so all my stuff's stored in my basement. So my basement's like my thrift store. Then I have a lighting set or a photography setup down there, and then I have one in my kitchen over. It's kind of a big kitchen and dining, or it's more in the dining room.
So it's slightly taken over.
It's not too bad, I don't think. My roommate
Nice.
may disagree.
Yeah. No, I like it when it's less taken over because I've been in both places, you know, like we grew our business to like 150,000 a year books before we ever got a storage unit or started doing FBA or whatever. And it was like people would come over and they'd be like, "What's with all the books?" Like, are you starting a library?
Not, I mean, when I went full time, I was in a 1-bedroom apartment, and literally my kitchen was stacked with boxes, and I had a walk-in closet, and literally just had 6 huge tote or like bins stacked up. So like, if something was in the second row of bins on the very bottom, I had to pull it all out, grab it. But I think that's some good advice is to really outgrow your living space as long as possible, like, and as
Right.
much as you can handle it,
Yeah,
because
until it's
taking on
same
overhead.
kind of mentality for hiring, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we lived in a 1 bedroom or a 2 bedroom apartment upstairs, and we had at least 10,000 books in boxes in our house upstairs. So there was an area of we had like a walk-in closet between the living room and the bedroom area, really weird design. And we just had it filled with office boxes. And like you said, they were packed. So it was like a cubic. It was like 8 office boxes by 8 office boxes by 8 office boxes, right? Like huge. And so, you know, and they were numbered or whatever. And when it'd sell, you'd have to go look for the box and you'd have to pull out all kinds of boxes to get to the other boxes. And like the floor was sagging, like in that area, like it was insane. So when we finally got into a storage unit, we got like a 25-foot, I forget, I don't know what they're called, like a metal storage unit thingy. You know what I'm talking about? Not like an actual storage unit, but it was
What?
a container. Like
Oh,
it was
okay,
on
yeah.
someone's property. So I knew a mechanic and he had an empty container and he rented it to us on his property and he had electricity and lights in there and whatnot. So our orders would sell, then we would go pull them out of there or whatever. But ever since then, I was like, I learned to love the not having your work in your house type thing, you know, because it just takes over.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping to. I mean, I was banking on my buddy coming back, and I think that's when I was gonna actually get a warehouse space and do that. But it depends on where I end up moving, what house I end up buying, in the room. Like, obviously, I'd like a basement, but I feel like if I get a basement, then I'm definitely gonna move all that shit downstairs again. So
Are you
it's like,
staying in the area?
yeah, I want to stick around Ann Arbor. I was looking at like Detroit's up and coming again. They have a new hockey stadium. Uh, I think Amazon they're bidding for the Amazon headquarters. Amazon's actually building their largest distribution center in Livonia, which is like 25-30 minutes from Detroit.
Oh, that's sick. Someone
Uh,
someone was asking about shipping a couch. Now I'm gonna assume that you're doing local pickup, right? Or you're doing
no,
like Craigslist, offer up, let go.
no, I've shipped all my furniture, but it's only been like debt or and one was a nightstand. The other one was a tape, like a small end table. Uh,
And you
and I
sold
just
it
had,
on eBay and then packed it up and shipped it.
yeah, I sold one on eBay, and the other one I came across this app called Cherish, CHAIRISH.
There's an
And
app for everything.
yeah, I honestly just Googled like top furniture selling apps or top furniture selling websites. And I was like, I'll try this out. Downloaded it and sold an item. I think I ended up selling it for like $400 or $500 within a week. And they take a 20% commission and they send you the shipping label. So it was 400.
Nice. What did you pay for that? And you just got it at a thrift store, or
Yeah,
do
I bought it
you?
at a thrift store for $35.
Nice. That's huge. Come up. So you have a truck for that kind of stuff?
No, I drive a Ford Fusion.
So
So
how'd you get the thing home?
I can pull out the back seat and or the back seat cushion. And
Hmm.
so it was small enough to fit in and like with seat taken out, it gives you enough room height wise.
Someone said don't drink the water in Flint. Are you near there?
Terrible joke.
Are you
Uh,
near there?
it's, I, I actually don't know how far Flint is. Maybe an hour 30.
So someone was asking what percentage of your income is eBay, Amazon, Grailed, Etsy, etc. Let's just talk about that. What platforms do you sell on, and what percentages roughly would you say they encompass of your sales?
I think the better question would be what platforms I don't sell on. Uh, So I'm on eBay, Etsy, Grailed, Poshmark, Cherish, local Facebook. I just pull up my app. Amazon. Did I already say that? Probably. Depop,
I just
Bonanza.
recently heard about Depop. I looked at it. It looks like Instagram, except for it's a shoppable. It looks exactly like Instagram.
Yeah. Since I don't really take my own photographs or measurements anymore, I don't really post to Depop because you have to take pictures on your phone and post it from your phone. So if I am doing photos, then I'll sometimes post to Depop, but I don't use it that much anymore. So what is my percentage of pie? Most of it is eBay. Like if I was, everything goes on eBay, and then from there, anything vintage will go to Etsy because I cross post to all
Right.
these websites. So from eBay, if it's vintage, it will go to Grailed, or if it's like a hype piece like Supreme or whatever, it will also go on Grailed, and then Poshmark, all my women's stuff will be transferred over there too. But yeah, I would say 85 to 90% eBay money. Amazon's a few percent.
So it's
great.
still worth it for you to utilize all those other platforms, even though Amazon is 80 or eBay is 85 to 90% of your sales.
Yeah, because it probably adds an extra 30, 40 seconds because I list everything from my computer. So I just drag all the photos to the desktop and then copy and paste the same titles and description over. And you can actually, I get more money on Grailed for a lot of items. Amazon
Is it a younger marketplace on Grail, do you think?
definitely is. It's a very different uh, marketplace, or yeah, I definitely think it's a younger marketplace. It's more of the hype beast people, kids.
What are some of the things that like downsides to, like, what do you hate about, I'm not saying like you hate it, but like, do you hate measuring clothes? Do you like,
I'm
which is like
starting.
your least favorite activity of the whole process?
It was taking photos and measurements. That's why I outsourced that. That was the first thing I outsourced. Uh,
Smart.
I'm starting to hate listing now, though. So I'm trying to teach. I'm going to teach my assistants to start listing, at least creating drafts. That way, I can just look it over real quick and do that. I want to stay in control of shipping. I think unless I get super big, because I want to be the last touch point
Right.
of any item. Because if there's a fuck up, it's on me. I can only blame myself.
Yeah,
So,
what kind of screw ups are you talking about? Like making sure that it is what you thought it was, or not sending it to the wrong place, or
a
what
lot
kind
of
of things are you trying to prevent there?
so a lot of it is just knowing that I was the last person to check everything. Like if there was a hole that was missed from my assistants measuring, or there was a stain that they missed, and then I somehow missed that. I mean, that's kind of on me at the end of the day.
So what do you do when you're about to ship an item and you notice there's a stain or a hole in it? What do you do?
Uh, if the hole is small, I'll try to fix it myself.
Like stitch it
Yes, I highly recommend
with a needle and
investing.
thread?
Yes, in colorless thread, clear thread, lifesaver.
So it's like not, it's like fishing line almost.
What's that?
It's like fishing line almost.
It really is actually. Yeah, it's probably is fishing line, but I got it off Amazon. If there's a stain that I can't get out, or I don't think I can get out, what I'll usually do is message them and be like, hey, I apologize for any inconvenience this may cause, but I noticed there's a stain before I shipped your item. I can give you a certain percentage refund and still ship you the item, or you can change it for some. So if it's a $20 item, I usually say if you find something else in my store between $20 and $30, so they could go up to $30, give them an extra $10 for the inconvenience of having to look. Or I just say, if you'd like to cancel the order, I can do that.
So just say you're basically just give them another item for free and also keep that item, or
Usually, no.
one or the other.
I'll just, yeah, I'll say, do you want a different item? And if they don't, then I'll just usually relist that item, show the flaw. I might just throw it up on auction at that point. Any flawed, like heavily flawed items that I missed picking through, I'll just throw up on auction and hope for the
Right.
best.
So that's what I noticed, and I'm sure that's like a common mistake for everyone, but especially beginners, is that it's very easy to get excited when you're sourcing items, when you think you found something and you're like, oh man, this is worth $50, this Tommy Hilfiger thing. And then you get home and you didn't notice that there was like an ink stain in the pocket, like, and so yeah, I've dealt with that several times where I think I've even made haul videos for YouTube. I'm like, yeah, I got this, it's worth this, and then I go and list it, and the lighting when you're taking photographs is way better than the thrift store. And then you have it up and you're like, wait a minute, what is this? Like, I didn't notice that, that coffee stain on that cream colored dress or whatever it is.
Yeah. Well, so if it's a vintage item, I'll still pick it up if it has flaws or stains in it, because people actually like that. They like the story behind it, or having this piece that's not in perfect condition, because I mean, I just feel like they're different type of people that are wearing these clothes.
Yeah, everybody has a different style, right? So like some people will wear like a shirt with a million holes in it, you know, and other people would be like, you know, I'll never be caught dead with a shirt with a hole in it.
Yeah, that's exactly how I am. Like any minor stain, I'm just like, no, I'm throwing this shit away.
And Josh comes clean, bro. I met Josh in where was it? Chicago, right?
Yeah, we were at the Chicago. That was the first time we met.
Yeah,
It was the night
at the
before his
reseller
wedding.
rally, and Landon, who is an admin on the chat, the thriftologist, he was there too. I think between us three, we stayed up later than anybody at the bar and probably drank all their Hennessy.
I wasn't doing any shots of Hennessy.
Maybe it was just me and Landon. It was a good night though, man. It was fun. It's always good to meet like-minded people, right? So you know how it goes, right? Like you can't. I don't know if you have reseller friends around you where you live or whatever, but I don't. And so if I'm, you know, your non-reseller friends, they don't want to hear anything about reselling. They'll actually be like, "Yo, shut up! Like, can you not talk business?" Like, etc. And it's not inspiring, right? Like, you want to be around people that like think like you, so that you foster your mentality.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, and I'm really starting to think that way a little bit more. Like, hang out. I don't know. You do have to hang out with more like-minded individuals, I think, if you want to further yourself as a human, really, and then
Yeah.
also as a business, because then you start thinking as a business mindset, and then you're able to make connections with like-minded people, and then that leads to bigger things because you both want to succeed.
Yeah.
Whereas some people are
Whereas
fine.
if you just hang out with your like regular, like some people that aren't doing anything, like I actually have a friend, and no offense to my buddy Tyler or anything, but he was saying how he was stoked to get a factory job, you know, like he's like, oh, I'm gonna love it. No one's gonna bother me. It's 40 hours a week, got benefits, I can listen to music all day, and it's like repetitive. And he's like, I like it. And I'm like, wow, like that would kill my soul, you know? Everyone has different everyone wants different things, you know. I'd rather talk customer service all day or something, you know, and then the day's over, you know. But I can't be hanging around so often with people that like, you know, you feel like you're the one that's the most successful. I want to go hang out with like people that are making like 10, 20 million a year and got like 3 warehouses, and then I'm like I'm embarrassed, you know, and I'm like I got to ramp this shit up.
No, yeah, I definitely agree with that, and I'm really starting to realize that. And I think the earlier you realize it, I mean, obviously the better off you're going to be. And sometimes you do have to sever some of those friendship ties and kind of, I mean, just so that you can again further yourself.
Elevate yourself.
Yeah, you got to be a little selfish.
Yeah. We can still go to the barbecue together, you know what I mean? But um so out of all the stuff you sell, what's your favorite type of garment to sell? Like is it shirts, is it pants, is it jackets, is it hats?
Uh, the easiest would be like shoes. I think shoes. I enjoy shoes a lot. I have a lot of shoes, so probably shoes, and then jackets are always nice, especially if you can find some dope ones. Like,
Do you do flat lay or do you have a mannequin?
oh, I definitely do flat lays. Well, lately I've been doing, or I have a hanger on a wall. So I have two setups. So I have one downstairs that's a flat lay, and the one upstairs is the one where the hanger's on the wall. But I don't have the patience for a mannequin. And
Right.
that's the other nice thing about selling men's clothing. They don't really care that much that they can't see the form of how it fits on their body because they don't care. And
Yeah, we know there's not a lot of difference. I know, man. I'm like, even if you go to a real store, like I'm just like, they're like, my wife's like, you want to try these on? And I'm like, no, let's go. I got them. Like,
and
I
I'm
don't
getting
want
a
to
lot
hang
of comments
around.
about my bookcase, like an earthquake just happened. That's called reading books and not keeping them all
Nice and
in
neat.
line.
Have you read most of those?
I have
Awesome.
a
Right
lot.
before the show went live, I told Josh I was going to come over to his house and scan all his books. If you're listening and not watching, he's got a nice shelf of books that if you're a bookseller, you know how we think.
I just what did I just buy? The Outsiders, but not the one by S.E. Hinton. It's the new one about the 8 CEOs that Think Differently.
Oh, I haven't heard of that.
I need to. I haven't read it right now. I'm reading The Help, and then next I'm probably gonna read. It's called Pimp. It's about a pimp from the '70s by Iceberg. His name's Iceberg Slim. If you watch the what's his name, Dave Chappelle, Netflix, he talks about it. So after I watched that, I was like, damn, that looks interesting.
I still have to catch up. I saw the two. Did he do two? How many specials did he do in 2017? Like 3 or 4? Because there was 2. Like the
I only
first
watched
2.
he gets very political in it, which is, I think it's interesting.
Yeah. Some people are saying that's Dave Chappelle's clone. They're like, no way he's that buff. You see him? You see?
Oh, he got jacked somehow.
Somehow they replaced him.
Yeah.
Oh man, dude, I love Dave Chappelle though, man. He still got it. He's super funny.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
Let's talk about, you want to talk about some brands at all? Like just like run through some of your best-selling brands, or is that like super vast knowledge category you can't even access?
I mean, right now vintage is hot. I don't know how long it's going to be in for, but any vintage Tommy Hilfiger, vintage Levi's are always good. The Coogee style sweaters, which are sweaters that look like Coogee. I'm looking around because I have stuff hanging up in my closet over here, so I'm trying to get an idea.
You're looking at your personal collection?
No, I don't. That's the nice thing is, like, none of the stuff I thrift is usually my style. I wear a lot of J. Crew, like Henleys, or just like normal Henley shirts. So if I ever come across stuff like that, I'll keep it for myself. But if it's worth anything more than 20, 30, 40, or 20 or 30 bucks, I'd rather have that money in my pocket or in the stock market. Well,
that's the baby's lunch.
Stock market's getting right now. Crypto's getting hammered too, but gotta weather the storm.
Everything's getting hammered right now.
Yeah, throw some more money into it. Stocks are cheap.
Yeah, that's what my business partner was just telling me right now. He was just talking about everything. He was like, because he's a opportunist stock trader, I would say, I guess. And he was just like, yeah, like, forget like holding stuff, he's like, he's buying right now, and if it's not doing what he wants, he's like selling it for a small loss and like rebuying at a lower price.
Oh yeah, I think I came across your partner's Instagram. He's a day trader, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's interesting. I need to. It'd be fun to do that, actually.
Yeah, I know nothing about stocks, so anytime anyone sends me anything about stocks, I just send it to him, and I'm like, "What's going on here? Like, help me out with this, bro."
That's how my roommate is. I get a bunch of advice from him on the stock market and what he's investing in, and so usually I'll invest in what he is. He knows a lot more about it. He's a finance guy.
I just had a random thought that I just remembered. Do you remember being in Chicago and I believe it was it Joe or some I don't remember what happened, but you were like, I'll buy you a Coogee sweater. And because I had a Coogee and Joe had a Coogee, and so there was like this Coogee hype going on. You were a little bit intoxicated. You pulled your phone out and you like purchased a Coogee sweater off of eBay.
No, it was that girl. I think
What was
name's
it?
probably Susie, but I think her Instagram, or it could be Sam, I guess. I think it's Sam Loves Susie or whatever, said that she had his size like Coogee style sweater, and I pulled out whatever money I had in my pocket. I think it was like 24 bucks or something, and I just go, here, I'm buying this for Joe. Take that sweater off of eBay right now. It's now Joe's. And she did. So yeah, I was a lot of it intoxicated at that point, and flexed my $24.
That was awesome. $24 well spent.
Yeah, it was.
I think that's really cool when we can support each other and buy stuff from each other, like Nicole State was talking about it a while back, where she was like, I'm done buying stuff off Amazon. Like I don't care if it costs me more to buy it off eBay. She wants to buy it from other sellers on eBay because like that's her platform. That's where she makes her money off of, and she wants to support not only the platform but the other sellers that sell on that platform. And I just thought that was kind of cool.
No, yeah, it is cool, but I mean, there's people like me. I
Yeah.
mean, that are selling
We're-
on Amazon too. That you gotta make sure that you're not buying from Amazon directly.
Yeah. Don't ever buy from the man.
Never. Never.
Never. That's why we're all in this. We're all in this to stick it to the man. That's the reality of it.
Stick it to the richest man in the world.
Yeah. Take that, Jeff.
It's all right. I invested, so hopefully they continue there.
Nice. Yeah. Seems solid, man. They're taking over the world. They just got into healthcare. Did you see that?
Yeah, that's going to be big. Who that they partnered with two other large companies.
Some
I think they're going to try to just make healthcare a lot cheaper, which is a good thing. But I also think that, I mean, yes, they may be doing it out of maybe saying they're doing it out of good faith, but still they probably had their finance guys run some numbers and realized it's the market they need to get into.
Yeah, do you think they're gonna open it up to sellers on the Amazon platform?
Ugh, that would be. They would have to vet that hard.
I think it would be. I mean, I don't really know if they would or whatever, but I know that there's a large market of people that sell on Amazon or eBay and don't have health insurance. So I'm sure they
Oh,
could
like
figure out
having
how to make some
I
money.
thought you meant like selling like pharmaceuticals, like health
So
stuff.
I think they're gonna start doing. Amazon's gonna start shipping prescriptions to your door too.
Oh
I
yeah.
forget who they bought. They bought or like are considering buying like CVS or Rite Aid or something like that, which would allow them to have get into that business without having to jump through any hoops because they're acquiring a company that's already in that business.
I would assume it'd be Rite Aid because they're struggling. They're a failing company. CVS and Walgreens, I think, are doing all right for themselves, but Rite Aid's definitely struggling.
Is it Rite Aid or is it CVS that it's partnered with Target? Because I learned that recently is that all of the prescriptions or the over the counter medicines or whatever in Target are that's like a partnership that they have with Rite Aid. I want to say not 100% on that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like I or Walgreens. Oh, someone said Walgreens bought Rite Aid. So
Oh damn,
or
sounds like a monopoly. CVS bought Target.
what?
That doesn't
Really?
make sense.
Yeah.
That makes zero sense. Who's old enough to remember when CVS was Long's drugstore? Anybody remember that?
Now that I said the fly.
My mom worked at Long's drugstore for like 20 years.
Damn.
Yes, Anna asked if you had a YouTube channel. Josh does have a YouTube channel. He's planning on bringing it back to life soon, especially when he outsources all the work that he doesn't want to do.
Yeah, I would definitely bring it back if I could outsource listing. So if there's any listers out there, because I was gonna hire a VA, and if you guys want to list my stuff, that'd be cool.
Yeah, maybe you can throw him some mentorship in exchange, as well as a little bit of chips.
Always cash is king.
Yep. Let's see.
Oh, so
I
they acquired Target's pharmacy. It's a lot different than Target.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. What was that jacket that you just pulled recently? There was a Tasmanian Devil jacket.
Oh yeah, it's just a vintage. I think it was Warner Bros. Vintage denim with the leather trim up top.
What'd you pay for that?
Probably like $5. Five it.
What do you think it's gonna go for?
I'll probably ask about 45 to 50.
Do
For
you uh do you research all your items before you list them, before you price them?
I hardly research anything anymore unless it's just a brand that looks like it's expensive. I'll look it up real quick and see the current prices. Then I'll quickly flip over to the solds and see if the current prices match up to the sold prices. Sometimes I'll just take a chance on some brands. Like if I come across the same brand like 9 or 10 times at the thrift store. I'll pick up like 1 or 2, see how it does. And then if it does well, flips quick, then I know for the future, like, hey, pick it up again.
Yeah, that's nice because a lot of people would actually, you'll see them posting too. They'll be like, I listed this and it sold 10 minutes later. Like, dang it, I lost money. Like I listed it too low, and it's like, not really, you listed it at what someone was willing to pay for it, and, worst case scenario, you learned that you might be able to list it higher. But I think that's a big problem with eBay is one, people do way too much research. So they don't get as much done, right? Because let's say you can list 100 items in a day with doing minimal or no research. If you're researching every single one, you probably get 50 listed, maybe even less.
Oh, way less.
And then on top of that, when people do research, a lot of people, they'll look at the sold and they'll sort from highest to lowest. And then they'll see the highest one that sold and they'll go, that's the price I'm going to price it at. And well, it's true. They did sell it for that. It might not be as realistic. You might have to wait longer for that customer to come along. And you know what I mean? Just people have unrealistic expectations and they're wasting time, with a bunch of different decisions like that. It's kind of what Nicole was saying too, is that she also doesn't really do much research at all. And I think that's a major key for big eBay sellers is they don't spend a lot of time researching. They focus on just getting stuff listed.
Yeah, I mean, really getting the item up there. And worst case scenario is if it sells very quickly, great. Like it's out of the door. Maybe, yeah, you lost $30, but adding $30 to the price may cause it to not sell for a month and a half. So would you rather have that $20 now that you can flip over and over again in that month and a half that it didn't sell, that you could have got a higher price for?
Right. You can compound that $20 3 or 4 times versus waiting 2 months and then getting $40 off of it.
Yeah. And then also, I'm losing my train of thought.
People spending a lot of time listing stuff when they need to just, or researching when they need to focus on just listing stuff, right? So
yeah, don't get in your own way. That's the biggest thing. Is like you're kind of getting in your own way if you're not just jumping. Like I'm the type of person who just jumps in, like, and it can burn me sometimes, but for the most part.
Well, you learn when you burn yourself, right? You touch the stove, you burn yourself. You don't touch the stove anymore.
Yeah. Or you touch it another time, maybe.
Just one more time. So what are some of the any tips that you've picked up yourself recently? Like what have you learned recently? Just something new, maybe it's a new brand or a new way to run your process. Any new tips that you've picked up yourself recently?
I think really just because I'm kind of everywhere. Like I'm in a merch by Amazon's been doing well for me. I've been doing the Etsy Printful stuff. I think it's just like kind of blocking out your day in a way that makes sense. Like, hey, when I wake up in the morning, I'm going to ship out I try to ship out most of my items the night before, and then I'll wake up in the morning and then ship out my items that I sold overnight. And I'll try to get like 5 to 10 listings up before I hit the post office. But
I didn't know you were doing print on demand. So what tier are you at on Amazon?
500.
Nice.
So Christmas was really good, I think, because I was still in the, I think I was in the 100 tier at that time, but they throttled a bunch of people, and then I was able to come in with designs, and I think mine were showing up. So I was selling like almost 100 shirts a week of some designs.
That's insane.
Yeah,
that's insane.
But
that's really, really good.
I mean, they were priced a little bit lower.
What price?
Most of them, I think, were priced at $14.95.
You got to raise your price up, bro. You're killing the game out here.
Well, that was before that. Now they're higher because they changed the royalties. But at that time, like, dude, I'm selling, like, I mean, it's an extra $1,200 a month in my pocket. I don't.
Right. So my best month was December. I think we did right under $1,200 profit. January was slow. They were still throttling. And now we're coming back, and I'm selling about, like 5 to 7 shirts a day right now on Amazon.
Yeah, it's roughly about what I'm at.
How many designs do you have up?
I think 360.
That's really good, dude. I have like freaking 580 up. So
I tried to lately I was like stressing out about getting up the 10 designs a day, but the past few days I've just been like, all right, I need to focus on, because eBay, I've been kind of slacking on eBay listing, and it's like I'm looking at my sheet right now and I'm like getting stressed. But
what you never talk about that on social media. I think you should talk about the print on demand more.
yeah, I mean, I didn't even know it was that big of a, like, I mean,
I see it as a huge opportunity. Just
like it's like one of those things where designs are, you kind of want to keep them close.
yeah. Well, you don't have to share your designs, but there's other ways, you can inspire people or motivate them or whatever. I'm really excited. Like, I'm super bullish on the print on demand because I just see the numbers and then I'm like, okay, well, what if I had 5,000 shirts listed, What if I had 10,000 shirts listed? And, that whole, you can outsource almost all of it, if not all of it. And
Yeah.
you don't have to leave your house. You could do it from anywhere in the world. You don't have to break a sweat. You don't have to have inventory on hand. You don't have to do customer service. You don't have to have a warehouse. None of that.
I like the Printful a lot more than the Amazon. I mean,
Yeah,
because I feel like it's a smaller market right now, and so
right.
you're able to get higher prices, and also obviously just having more items or to put your design on.
Right. I'm also heavy into the Etsy and Printful. I only have 200 designs on Etsy with Printful, mostly shirts, like 95% shirts. And every time I sell a shirt, then I go and put it onto other garments and see if it sells. Also, I'll put it on a cup, sweater, long sleeve, tank top, whatever. And I'm selling this is our third day in a row of selling 4 shirts a day so far. So I might sell more before the day ends, but I make $10 profit every time I sell a shirt on Etsy using the Printful integration, which is a lot more than the 5 that you make on Merch by Amazon. And that's at like $19.99 a shirt or whatever. So you sell a shirt for the same price on Etsy with shipping and make almost $10, or a little over $10. But yeah, it's strange for me to have, similar success to Merch by Amazon, even more some days, but have only 200 designs up. I was just looking at Etsy is the number 60 rank website in America, which is, nothing to scoff at.
Yeah.
And it's kind of exposed me to the whole Etsy world, right? Because I never sold on Etsy before this, but now I know how to optimize listings, like with titles and keywords, and I'm learning about ads because I'm running the Etsy sponsored listings. And I really like it. Like, I could see how you could just crush it on Etsy. You could have a whole legging store, you could have a tank top store, you could have a general store, you could do a lot of stuff. Do you feel like you have any insight on Etsy from selling on Etsy already before you started doing this?
Yeah. Have you heard of the website called Marmalade? Marmalead?
I have, actually. I haven't used it, but I have heard about it. You're using that?
No, I did. So really, I recommend getting it for 1 month. Learn exactly. You can learn almost instantly the Etsy keyword search apps or SEO, like super quickly.
What do you mean by just learning what type of keywords you should be using for certain niches, and then you'll be able to extrapolate that to other stuff?
So Marmalade will grade your listings based off Etsy's SEO. And so then they also have options where you'll put in like a beer shirt, and it would give you a bunch of keywords of what people are searching in green, and then what ones are like red, what ones you shouldn't be using that people may use, thinking that it would be good for Etsy SEO, and it's not. And like Etsy titles are supposed to be like chunked into 3, 4, 5 words where they almost, whereas eBay, you want like a coherent sentence almost, like you would type out like men's vintage Tommy Hilfiger jacket or whatever. For like Etsy, you put like 90s Tommy Hilfiger jacket, comma, vintage Tommy Hilfiger jacket, comma,
Yeah,
90.
you're putting exact search phrases in the title and in the
Yep,
keywords.
yep. And so you want your keywords to kind of match those 2 to 3 or 4 word phrases in your title, and that's going to give you a better optimization.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just starting to get into that. And I think the description doesn't really matter so much. I did pick up a little tip recently, just a few days ago. I was just on Google, right? Google, old school. And I was reading this blog post, and this woman was saying that like how the description isn't heavily weighted for the SEO, but that she does put a like a sentence, like a call to action in the description, which is like, hey, if you like this shirt, we have other shirts or other items in our store that you would like. Click here to check out other store items in our store. And since it's an Etsy link to your store, it'll work, right? Other links won't work.
Yeah.
And that's, just in case their attention is focused in the description, you're giving them a quick, easy way to get to your store. And we all know the longer you keep them in your store, the more likely they are to buy or whatever.
Yeah, Marmalade gives you tips on how to write a description too, and what Etsy is really looking for, and that they say write in like a 4th grade reading level.
Yeah.
And also don't make it too long.
Yeah. I think I've been using, trying to use all the characters as much as possible. The issue that I have is that the keywords or tags or whatever, they're only a certain amount of characters long. And then sometimes the search phrases that I know people are searching for, because I use the Etsy search bar to come up with phrases and keywords or whatever, it's longer. So I can't use the whole thing. Like, you can't put like, for example, St. Patrick's Day is like a long name for a holiday. So like St. Patrick's Day shirt, you can't put that in there. It's too many characters for a keyword, right? But so like I just I have a bunch of Valentine's Day shirts. Just to give the viewers an example, I have like a Valentine's Day shirt with like a sloth, and it's like um Valentine's sloth shirt, Valentine's Day shirt, Valentine sloth, like without the S, love sloth shirt, sloth heart, like sloth gift. You really have to think like how someone would search for something. So it's like, is someone gonna write, like I was putting like St. Patrick's Day with a period in it, and then I had to stop myself, and I was like, wait a minute, like, is anyone gonna actually put that period in when they're searching? Like, they're not. They're gonna write ST space Patrick's. You know what I mean? They're not gonna put the period after the T. They're not gonna put the apostrophe in the S. So it's like you have to think like the buyer, right? And it really requires you to go to like 4th grade level to get it done.
Yeah, that's what I like about Marmalade is they do give you those keywords that you would never think of, like gift for her,
Yep.
gift for him, stuff like that. Like I would never think about that. Like it's just,
yeah. So it's not just a fishing shirt. It's a funny fishing shirt, gift for dad, dad gift, dad present, dad's birthday, birthday for dad, like all of these things that you might not be thinking about. But definitely, I think I will probably subscribe for that too, for at least a month, just to see. Do you know how much it is?
I think for the 3-month it was like $24 or something.
For 3 months?
Yeah, but you don't need 3 months.
That's really cheap. That's basically free.
I stopped using it after a week and a half.
Nice. What are your Etsy Printful sales like, and how many designs do you have up?
I couldn't even tell you because I blanket. I literally post almost every single category you can, the t-shirts in every single color. Also, with the t-shirts, make sure you're only doing 10 colors at a time because Etsy can only show 10 colors.
Major key.
So I switch because they have like 40 colors, something like that.
Yeah, on Printful, if you're using the $12.95 shirt, which I'm assuming you are, the 3001.
Yeah.
The cheapest one that has all the colors.
Yeah, I think it was the Bella canvas 3100 or something.
Yeah.
So I'll do that. Then I'll do long sleeves, hoodies, crew necks, full zip hoodies, tank tops, hats.
So you'll take one design and then you'll go to the Printful thing, add product, like open up a bunch of tabs, and then just basically choose almost everything.
No, because with Printful, I just do one tab because as long as you're like kind of in the same category, all your keywords are kind of they're already down there for you, and I just copy in the same title.
Yeah. So the way that I've been doing my Etsy things is, so when you're in Printful and it's like add a product, right? And then that takes you to the select a product screen. I'll hold control and I'll click on the add a product like 10 or 20 times to open 20 tabs, and then
Okay.
I'll go through each one. Like say I was going to list 20 shirts, I'll click shirt, then I'll, control tab, shirt, control tab, shirt, control tab, shirt through all the tabs, as fast as possible. And your mouse is like in the same spot.
Yeah.
And then go through and like pick the garment and pick all the colors. And then, like you said, copy and paste the title or whatever. I'm super anal about like trying to save time about how you do stuff. But
yeah.
What have you done any of the embroidery stuff?
The hats?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that. A few.
Yeah, I haven't done that because I think it requires different art, right? You can't just submit the same art. You have to alter it a little bit.
I mean, if you're using pretty basic colors, you can you do a flat embroidery, and it allows you to choose, like you can choose up to 4 colors or 4 threads to use.
Right.
So as long as you have, if you have more than 4 colors, then you got to start like kind of choosing ones that make sense and make it look good. But
so what are you selling a lot of on Etsy besides shirts?
Well, I keep my Printful Etsy store separate from my vintage Etsy store.
Is it under the same account or separate?
They're two. Well, I mean,
you can have multiple stores on Etsy, correct?
Yes, you can. I didn't know that. And so originally I was going to just use a different bank account and then have 2 different stores like that. But I was looking into it and I was like, oh, you can just do that. So I keep everything to my one business bank account because I don't want to mess up my account.
Yeah, but you have separate storefronts, names, etc.
Yeah.
Do you have all your stuff listed on Etsy like a general store, or do you have it separated like a t-shirt store, a hat store?
Oh no, I just
Are you doing coffee mugs too?
Yeah, I literally do pillows, coffee mugs, iPhone cases. I put it on. I've been kind of slacking lately just because, again, I've been slacking on eBay, so I've been trying to push more towards.
You can't do everything, baby.
Yeah, that's what I'm realizing that.
So what I'm interested in learning about the other stuff, because I've only done shirts, tank tops, sweaters, hoodies. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Are you selling a decent amount of pillows, tank tops, towels, etc.?
I've never sold a pillow. I don't think I've ever actually made a towel. I think I've sold a couple iPhone cases, sold a few mugs, a few pieces of wall art.
It's ridiculous, though. I think people don't understand the opportunity because it's basically free. It costs 20 cents. Like, it's free to have an Etsy account. It's free to have a Printful account and link them up, and they give you all this opportunity. And then it costs 20 cents to list an Etsy item, and a listing on Etsy is good for 6 months. If it sells, it automatically renews for another 20 cents, and you're back in the game on that same item. And they only take 3.5% of the transaction fee. So it's like a fresh breath of air compared to eBay and Amazon, who both take pretty much almost 15%.
Yeah, I think it's 3 months for each.
3 months? I thought it was 6 months.
It
might be 90 days.
I forget. But yeah, it's definitely worth it. Yeah, the fees are super low, and you pretty much already know what you're going to profit per item through the Printful. Like it's a little off because I don't think they factor in the Etsy fees.
Right. Yeah. I need to up my submission, like I'm not limited like Amazon. I can do 20 a day, but on Etsy I could do 1,000 if I could get it done, so I'm going to hire an Etsy. I hate to say I'm going to, because I feel like that's just verbally putting it off, but here in the short future, tomorrow, I'm posting an ad on online jobs and I'm getting an Etsy lister because we need to maximize that thing. Are you running ads on your Etsy listings as well?
Yeah, but it's very low, like 3 cent PPC with a $4 a day.
Are you getting much bids or no?
Whatever. Honestly, I
You don't really look at it.
Again, I'm the type of person who just jumps into something, doesn't really look at all the fine print, and if it sticks, it sticks. If it doesn't, then I learn something.
Yeah, I'm the same way too. That's why my CPA hates me.
Oh yeah, I can only imagine what. I mean, mine doesn't say anything because I pay them well, but
Right.
like
My favorite thing is when my CPA asks me a question and I go, "What do you think I pay you for?" Like, how am I supposed to know that? Like, isn't that why I pay you?
yeah, that's hilarious.
So let's talk about like your process when you go into, let's go back into eBay and clothing. What's your process when you go into a thrift store? What's the first thing that you target? Like, how does Vogue Squared attack a thrift store?
If I am, it depends. Obviously, it depends on the season. Winter, fall, you got to go to what's going to make you the most money. And it's going to be jackets and sweaters. So typically I'll hit jackets first, rifle through those. Then sometimes I'll hit shoes too, because shoes can be big money. So usually it's jackets, shoes, sweaters, jeans, and then from there, I hate going through t-shirts. Fucking hate it.
Why?
Sorry, I don't know if I can swear on this or not, but
Yeah, it's all right.
all right. I just hate t-shirts. But
Why do you hate t-shirts?
there's just so many of them, and they're just it's 98% crap, and none of it excites me. Again, you got to do something. You got to, if you're gonna stick it out in this business, you got to go through stuff that interests you, because you're not gonna last very long if you're bored all the time. So I think from there, I would hit like the sporting goods side, maybe browse the furniture real quick to see if anything catches my eye. Hard goods, hit up like VCRs, stereos, stuff like that. See what's lying around there.
Are you looking those up on eBay or on Amazon?
What?
The VCRs and stuff, eBay or Amazon?
Amazon, definitely. I don't really mess with VCR stuff for eBay.
So you're mostly clothing on eBay. Do you sell any other items?
I have a few
furniture
hard
a little bit.
goods, but yeah, I would say 98% of my stuff is clothing. 99% of my stuff's clothing.
And then what kind of stuff are you selling on Amazon besides the VCRs that you just mentioned?
So I have a couple. I'm doing some consulting work for a couple small companies in the area. One's a hot sauce company, Clancy's Fancy. I'm going to plug them right now. So Clancy's Fancy's hot sauce, all natural, USA made, right down the street. So that's actually been doing pretty well.
Are you selling it for them on your account, or you set them up with an Amazon account?
Originally, we were going to do that, but they're trying to figure that out. We're trying to get brand registered. That's what I told them. They need to get brand registered first. So right now it's all run through my account, and I'll get a consulting fee and then royalties after that. And then I'm also doing a coffee company. It's like
you also get free hot sauce.
What?
You also get free hot sauce.
Yeah, I don't really eat that much hot sauce though.
Oh, all right. That'd be a great deal.
Not bad though. It is. I mean, I have a ton in my basement, hot sauce and coffee. Coffee's not doing that well, just because I think people are very sensitive price point on coffee.
Right.
A lot of people don't care what their coffee tastes like, which is tragic a little bit.
Oh yeah, it's tragedy.
So they're fine with paying $10 for a 5-pound bag of
crap.
Probably. So that's been very slow. Just they trickle in maybe a few bags a month. But the hot sauce I've just been sending in the FDA, and it does well. Like,
Nice.
so I mean, for a brand new product with zero advertising, zero reviews, I created all the listings myself, edited all the photos, made it look good. We're selling like 15, 20 bottles a week.
Nice. Are you running any ads on that?
No, not zero ads at all.
Nice.
So that's
So I was learning about some ads last weekend at the Marcella conference, and there's this one ad type that's super awesome. It's called, I think it's called a product placement ad. I'm not 100% sure on that, but there's 3 types of ads you can do with AMS. Not like a normal in your Amazon account, like run a promotion or an ad or whatever. It's different. It's an AMS ad. So there's like headline ads, sponsored product ads. Headlines are at the top. Sponsored products are like your product just appears like in the search results and it almost looks like a regular search result. And then there's this one that's like hijacking people's listings to where it's like, um, so it's like, let's say you look for like a certain hot sauce, and like what you would do is you'd find like a really good selling hot sauce, and then you would place your product against that one on an ad, and it would make yours show up like in the bottom. Like here's the page you're looking at. Yours would be like right down here. So like while you're looking at it on the screen where you could buy it, there's a little thing right here that says, Fancy Clancy's hot sauce. And so you could leverage the traffic that's already going to other people's listings, including, they're running ads to drive traffic to their listing. And then right there, you're giving them another option, So might want to look into that. It sounds pretty interesting as far as being able to leverage the interest in other similar products to drive traffic.
yeah, definitely. That is interesting. Like, I'm not super heavy in the Amazon anymore. I got very off put by it when I bought these hats, these beanies, straight from the company, knowing that they sell out very quickly. Then there was no listings on Amazon, so I created my own listings. And then, like a week later, I get a inauthentic claim on it, and I was like, "Oh, this is fine." Like, I bought directly from the company. I have Facebook messages from the company saying, "We shipped your order, all the invoices, whatever." They didn't accept it. Then I find out the person that made the inauthentic claim is their lawyer. So I reached out to him. He didn't respond to the first couple of emails. I had my friend who's a lawyer write up an email essentially telling him he's in violation of some lawyer code that says if you're lying on behalf, you can't lie on behalf of your person you're representing, which he did because he admitted that he didn't do any due diligence. So he didn't order from me to say that they were inauthentic. He admitted that he reported over 400 listings without doing any due diligence. And I was like, dude, you could have got 400 people suspended and you could have a class action lawsuit against you for doing this. But
yeah, that's the downside about all of the ways that we're doing business online. It's in other people's playgrounds, right? So we got to play by their rules.
But I mean, anything I mean, I didn't do anything wrong though. They said that it looked like, so for the brand, when you create the listing, you got to say what the brand is.
Right.
And I'm not the brand. I put their brand down.
Yeah, of course.
And they said it looked too much like the company was directly selling it because they didn't understand. It was just some old lawyer dude that probably doesn't understand the internet at all. He was like, it just looked like we were selling it directly. Instead of you need to put your brand name. I go, I'm not the manufacturer of the item. I'm not going to put my name on it.
Josh McEllery, Fancy Clancy's hot sauce.
So, that was drawn out for like 6 months, and finally I got I actually reached out to a lawyer myself to see if I could bring a lawsuit against him.
You were telling me about this in Chicago.
Yeah, my lawyer said that I would have to actually sue Amazon because that's where the damages came from. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to try to do that. He was like, all right, just screenshot the email that you got from the other lawyer and try again. And literally within 6 hours, I was reinstated. So I don't know what changed over that 6 months, but like Amazon stopped having contact with me. They wouldn't let me open up any more cases.
It's very strange, very strange. It's sad, but a lot of these, like I don't think eBay's as bad as Amazon. Amazon is really, really automated, right? So there's, like you said, people can report you, you can get suspended, then they want you to prove it. You know, they're like, they often will make a mistake and then they'll be like, well, send us pictures. Like they said this to me recently. Send us pictures of the item to prove this or that. And I'm like, dude, you guys have all of the items. Like, if you want a picture, go pull it off your shelf and take a picture of it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't have any of the units. You have them all, right? So it's a battle, right? I feel like eBay's a lot better. Like when you call eBay for customer service, I feel like you actually get help, you know, or at least that's been my experience.
No, yeah, you definitely do, and that's the other thing. I mean, with Amazon, like if you can ruin a competitor's business very easily. You could be like, hey, friends, hey, 10, 12 friends, order this product and say it's inauthentic. And that guy's screwed.
Yeah, even if he comes back, you know, and
Yeah,
you
he's
know,
gone
then
for
you're controlling the market during, you know, that whole time that they're gone, and maybe it's Christmas time, you know, so
and I've had that happen with me where a guy would use like a bunk credit card and buy up all my items. And so they would sit in pending for a day or two before they were like, oh, this credit card's not legit or it's expired or whatever. And then all my inventory would go back in. And it was just, I had to call and they were just like, yeah, we can't do anything about it. Like,
yeah. Amazon's the worst with that. You'll have like hundreds, at least for me. I know I do a decent large sales volume, but you know, I'll have like hundreds and hundreds of pending orders. And I'm not talking like just like 2 days old. I'm talking like 7, 8, 9, 10, you know, maybe even some over 2 weeks pending. And the customers are like, what's going on? You know, like it's supposed to be prime shipping. And I'm like, you need to contact Amazon, right? Like,
yeah, it's,
I'm not in control of it. You know, they think you have their credit card or whatever, or you made the charge. And it's like, nope, got to talk to your dealer.
yeah, it's definitely, I mean, obviously there's huge money to be made on Amazon, but it comes with its flaws. So
Definitely. What are some of the thank you for the super chat, Michael Marnian. Appreciate it.
I'm
What
curious, what
yeah,
are those?
someone asked if I was eyeing your bookcase. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. I scanned it with my eyes. Um, so let's pretend you have a time machine and you can go back in time. What would be something that you would tell yourself like when you were just getting into this? So you said you've been doing it full time for like 2 years. If you could go back, what would you tell yourself that you think would really help you grow your business or just do better in general?
I think really making connections with like-minded people would have been really good. Not I really struggle with being super independent and not asking for help or wanting help, thinking I can do it all by myself. And you're not going to be very successful if you do that, or you're going to get burnt out real quick. So I think just making those early connections with people.
Like with other sellers or with like store managers, or what are you talking about?
Kind of everybody. I mean, anybody that you think can help you further along and that you could also bring along with you. Uh, so yeah, like talking to store managers, talking to the just the normal employees at thrift stores every single day, because they notice you. Like they see that
Right.
you're coming in once, twice, 3 times a week. And I've made connections with managers and stuff where you're like, if I buy all of your units of this, will you go cheaper? I've made connections with like boutique stores, or like a closeout, or what was it? I bought a bunch of sample sports pieces. So sample hats, jerseys, jackets. I bought out like almost her entire inventory and told her, hey, here's my card. She gave me her card. I was like, I'll email you, or can you reach out to me next time you're going to do this sample sale, and I will buy it all directly from you. You don't have to waste the time, the effort to set it all up. If the price is right, I'll buy it all. So just little things like that, where if you would have just bought it, not said anything, not exchanged any contact info, you're kind of missing out.
Yeah, that's a huge tip, guys. A lot of people think that they go in and out, like you said, they don't, they're cold to the workers, to the employees, like they ask you what you're doing, you make up some bullshit answer. And it's like, they know what you're doing, right? They know you're a reseller. They know who all the resellers are. They see them every day for 10 years, 20 years, right? And so it's in your best interest to be nice to them, be kind, not act like you have something to hide, because you might walk into the store and they might say, "Hey, Josh, like over there, I just put out like a bunch of new jackets. I know you like jackets, Josh. So like, go check that rack out,
That literally happened last week. The owner of a Salvation, well, I think it's like a boutique Salvation Army. We're really good friends. She was just like, "Hey, just put these out. Hey, just got these Lululemon jeans in," or they were like jeans. The first time I ever seen like Lululemon like type jeans, and I was like, "All right," and bought them up and just things like that. Yeah, definitely don't hide. They know you're a reseller. Like you're buying, especially with clothing. You're just buying a cart full of clothing. They're not for yourself.
Pounds of clothing.
They're interested. They think it's interesting.
Right. Yeah.
What? That's a business. I was like, yeah. And they're like, all right, well, and I'll get discounts all the time by just asking how their day is.
Oh yeah. Don't bring them a Starbucks gift card and some donuts. You might get stuff for free.
Yeah, I've never given. I've gotten free stuff without giving out any free stuff, but yeah, I think it's just ask them how their day's going, like,
and not just the stores, because like I benefit from this too, right? So I have like, even at my Toys R Us, right, the manager will see me come in and he'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'm so happy you're here. Like we're backed up. Like we got all this stuff. Like here, come in the back warehouse and scan this stuff." And like, because he knows when I find stuff, I'm taking all of it, right? And so that means they don't have to unbox it, put it on the floor, price, like they don't have to do anything, and like he'll take me around the store and be like, did you scan this? What about that? Like, we're putting these on clearance tomorrow. Like, I'll give you the clearance price today, like it's endless. And then also just regular people that aren't like store workers or owners or whatever, if they know what you do, they're more likely, like, for example, you sell clothing. So I imagine your friends, family, neighbors, people know you sell clothing, your roommates, friends, whatever. And then when they have a bunch of clothing they need to get rid of, they just bring it to you, right?
Yeah, that can be a good and a bad thing.
That's funny. I knew you were going to say that.
Some people are like, well, I want a certain percentage.
Right.
I always do 50-50. And they're like, that's pretty high. I was like, dude, you're not doing anything. Like,
yep,
at all. I have this entire process out. Like, I don't care if you give it to me or not. Honestly, it's more work for me if I have it, and it's less money.
50-50 is fully fair. If not, it's more than fair, in my opinion, for them, because let's be real, they're going to flea market for $2 an item or just give it away to the Goodwill anyways. So for us to care about it, and we're working on commission, so we're going to sell it for as much as possible, right? So yeah, people are greedy, but when you just be real with them, it comes through. But sometimes, my neighbors know I sell books, so I'll just wake up and there will be a box of books on my porch. And I'm like, where did these come from? Like, I have no idea, but because they know what I do, because, when they see me, I talk to them or whatever, we just shoot the crap. And it's the product of not being closed up, like reselling is a social business. If you're doing yard sales, for example, which is like you can negotiate a lot, right? Like, do you just walk up and say like, how much for this? And they say $18 and you just like turn around and you know what I mean? Or do you just talk to them after that and you keep talking to them? And then like soon enough, they're like, well, what about that $18 thing you wanted? I'll give it to you for 10, you're like, okay, cool. But they're not going to offer you the deals if you're not, being personable. Right.
Yeah, definitely. And even buying some stuff at full price, then I think it allows you to then get maybe some other stuff for lower price. They're like, oh, this guy paid. And you usually want to pick out something that you don't really want, pay full price for that, and then nickel and dime them on the stuff you really want. But
yep, that's called breaking the ice, right? I learned that from, not that I learned it, but I didn't call it breaking the ice until American Pickers, yeah. the icebreaker, bro. Then they just start coming in.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Also another big tip if you do yard sales and stuff is that like group stuff together. Don't be like how much for this, how much for this, how much for this, how much for this. Find out all the stuff you want and then like come up with a whole armful, or if they have a box, put it all in a box and then say how much for everything in this box. You know, like you'd be surprised. You're gonna pay two, or you're gonna pay like 12 cents each when it's all in a box, you know? So
Yeah, well, I did that that huge sale. They wanted $1 for each hat, and I asked her, I go, I want every single one of your major league sports hats, because they had a bunch of like colleges and random stuff. I only wanted the major league sports, and I was like, how much if I bought all your major league sports? She goes, it's still $1 a hat. And I kind of looked at her and I was like, all right, whatever. So didn't pull the trigger on any of the hats. And so I started piling up jerseys and jackets and shorts and shoes. And then I went and checked out, bought a pair of shoes from her actual store for full price because I wanted them anyway. And as I'm checking out, she comes back in. She goes, all right, if you take all the Major League Sports hats, I'll do 50 cents a piece on each one.
nice.
Just like
Nice.
that, took 50% off the price just because she knew I was serious. She probably wanted it all gone, and I ended up buying like 700 hats. So
That's you. I think I bought one of them from you.
no, I think that may have been a vintage one.
Different one.
Yeah. But yeah, 50 cents for sample hats. Like,
So do you know a lot of people's style? Because I know you know that I like Hornets. So like for a while you were like, oh, I got this Hornets piece, Reezy. You want this? Like you telling me the price and everything. I assume I'm not the only person that you're messaging when you come up on stuff.
you might have been actually.
Dang, now I feel super special.
I don't like for my friends, like I know what they want.
Right.
I'll message them if it's something that I wouldn't pick up. Any sports related stuff. My roommate likes.
Are your friends like my friends? They just come with the most disrespectful prices.
Oh, all the time. Like those Allbirds that I got with the Deal Queen.
Yeah, what
went ape shit over those, and they were like, I'll give you like $45. I go, bro, I'm getting 98 or 75 to $90 all day for these.
So what's your homie price? Like $60?
I did give it to him for 45, but
not without breaking his balls.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they were trying to get some exclusive colors, and I was like, dude, I just sold a pair for like $195. You're not getting that. They're like, all right. So I do give the homie prices, but I make sure I try to at least double my money, even on the homie prices.
Yeah, I used to do computer work 13 years ago, a long time ago. It's like my backup career, and my friends would always come with like the most ridiculous prices. You know, they just want to give you like they want to come over with like 3 broken laptops, and they'll be like, "I'll give you $20." I'm like, dude, no, like it's gonna be like $20 each minimum, and that's like still a ridiculous price because the real price would be like $60 each, for each one or whatever. And it's like, still don't understand people that undervalue people. They just take it for granted, right?
I mean, my biggest pet peeve is someone that's like, oh, you probably got this. It's not my friends, just like buyers, just like, you paid probably like $5 for this at a thrift store.
And
usually my response is, dude, you don't walk into Walmart and ask them how much they paid for an item and then offer exactly what they paid for that item. Like,
right.
I'm not gonna walk in and say, you paid 15 cents for this shirt, so I'll give you 15 cents for it. They're gonna laugh at you.
Right. It's funny. That's a good point to bring up. I like to bring that up as well in various forms, because for some reason, sometimes people think that like reselling is like a crooked job. Like they think we're evil or something, we're like, we're just trying to make an honest buck. Right. And it's like you said, you paid $5 for this, so you have to sell it to me for $5.50 max. You're like, no, I don't sell anything for less than $10. Like, get out of here.
Yeah, it's almost like a piece of art. You're not paying for the actual piece of art. You're paying for the idea, the time, the thousands upon thousands of hours they have done to perfect their craft.
Right.
When you're a reseller, you're paying for the item that you want, but you're also paying for the convenience of having that item right in front of you on the internet. You don't have to leave your house. You're paying for the time that they spent to go get it or find
Yep.
it, whatever. There's so that
Yeah, it's convenience, and a lot of people don't understand. I think some people have way more time than others, and for them it's harder for them to grasp the idea of the value of convenience. But for example, like when we just moved in, we've lived here for almost 6 months now, but like we just moved in and then we're like getting stuff and my wife's like, "Oh, I got to go to Ross and grab like a bath rug and like a toilet brush or something, I don't know." And she comes back like 3 hours later with a bunch of other crap that she didn't need, you know what I mean?
yeah.
And I was like, cool, you got a toilet brush for $6 or whatever, but it took you 3 hours and you also bought a bunch of other crap you didn't need. Like, I would have much preferred you to just buy a toilet brush for like $15 off Amazon and like just continue your day, you know, like
I actually used to be that person where I was like, why would anyone pay this much for this item when they can go to the store and get it? And now I'm 180-degree different mindset. I now look at my time in dollars. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to save $3 if I get out the door, but it's going to take me 20 minutes. What do I value my time at? If I'm valuing my time at $100 an hour, that 20
yeah, it's
minutes
not.
is $33.33.
Yeah,
So,
it's not worth it at all, right? You're like,
yeah. So
I'll
I'm willing to
pay.
pay $4 extra for whatever. Like,
Not only that too, you're like, I'll save $6, but I'll also stop at Starbucks and get a mocha. So like, am I really saving any money or am I not? Like,
yeah, exactly. So
it's
is
insane.
convenience. There is a premium set on convenience, though,
Definitely.
and Amazon recognizes it.
Yeah, damn, the boy do they. Do you know your like 2017 sales numbers, or do you care to share that at all?
I mean, off the top of my head, off my own numbers, I think they might be different from my accountant's because my accountant was like, you added a lot to your bottom line.
Yeah, well, let's just talk gross sales. Like what? Because everybody, I know a lot of people are like, well, gross sales, it's not profit, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, if you're a seller and you're in business, gross sales, it's not everything, but it's like you can work backward from there. You know, if you're familiar with the person's business model, you kind of know what they pay, like,
Yeah,
so like what was your gross sales for 2017?
about 400,000.
That's huge, bro. For a one-man operation,
Well,
that's
uh,
huge.
well, this year now I had assistants all year. So 2000, my first year full time was just under 300, and that was 10 months I was alone.
Man, that's 90% eBay, correct?
Yeah.
Or more. That's awesome, dude. Congratulations, bro. That's huge.
Actually, it would be so this year it would be like, well, I guess PayPal. So it would be Grailed would funnel into PayPal, Instagram sales, which are very low, like, and then eBay. So I would say actually 75% would be between eBay and Grailed or like PayPal.
Nice. Dude, that's awesome, bro. It's so cool to the time that we live in that we're able to do this, like our parents couldn't do this, our grandparents couldn't do this, right? You can go grab some stuff and you can put it in front of everybody in the entire world and ask them if they want to buy it.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Make sure you're globally shipping. It's not as hard as people want to make it out to be.
Do you ship internationally or do you do global shipping program?
I do both. Offer
Both.
both.
So which countries do you offer shipping to?
Every single one besides Mexico, Brazil, and Russia.
Why do you not ship to Mexico or those countries?
Mexico and Brazil, very shady postal systems, and
Okay.
they essentially stop tracking right when they get in the country. And I've just never had much luck with Russia, so I just kind of took them off the list. Same thing. It was just like people are like, I never received my package, and yeah, again, if it stops tracking.
So how do you maintain and run that? Do you just have a rough idea of what it's going to cost to ship something, or do you
Oh no, it's really
you use all flat rate boxes or what?
no. I just do calculated shipping, but it's super easy. Canada, anything between 1 and 8 ounces now would cost you $8 or $9, I think, through eBay shipping labels. And then 9 ounces to 2 pounds will be 13 or 14 bucks. And then anywhere else internationally, 0 to 8 ounces is like 12 to 14 bucks. And then 9 ounces to 2 pounds is 20.
And is that in priority packaging?
No, that's first class. Priority mail, your next. So anything over 0 to 4 pounds is going to go first class, but after 2 pounds, your next cheapest option, if it fits in a flat rate priority mail, that's going to be your next cheapest option. So
do you ever like lose out on shipping internationally from making mistakes, or?
I have a couple times, but it was super high priced items, so it didn't matter anyway because my ROI was amazing.
Yeah, you could absorb it.
Like I lost like $30 on shipping once where I just grossly messed up the weight. But
yeah, that's huge. I bet you get a lot of more sales like that because not that I'm an expert on eBay or anything, but I only do global shipping program because I didn't want to deal with all the international stuff. But I get at least 1 or 2 messages a month from people like saying like, can you ship this to me any other way? Like global shipping is raping me.
Yeah, that's why I just offer, like, if you're like nervous about it, just do calculated shipping and kind of, if you don't want to weigh out everything, just inflate what you think by an extra pound. You can also add in shipping and handling charges. So if you think like, oh, I might be a little off, like I'll just add $10 to the handling charge and it will offset it. I add $5 to my handling charge on all my listings.
Every single eBay listing
for international shipping. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Just in case I am off, like it gives me an extra $5.
Nice. Do you do any kind of inserts with your sales? Do you send out cards or anything?
I used to, but I kind of stopped. They were just these. I still have like a half a box left. It was just my business card that had VOGUE squared, and then I had my Instagram, my eBay store name, my Facebook, which I don't have anymore, my YouTube channel, and then just my email.
Cool.
But I stopped doing it. It was just, I don't think I'd get returns sometimes, and the card would still be in the package. So I'm like, people are just throwing this shit away. I did the same thing. Like I would do the same thing when I got packages. So
right.
Not really worth the extra money or effort to remember to order them from Vistaprint or whatever.
Yeah. I just print them out on my printer because I don't do but like 20 sales a month on eBay. But just like, hey, if you like your order, we're a small company. We would appreciate you leaving us a 5-star review. And if you want to check out our store or leave us feedback, you can scan this QR code to get to our store.
Okay.
And then obviously the store name is there too. But the cool thing is that the QR code is not just a link to my store. It's an eBay affiliate network link to my store. So if they scan that and go back to eBay, then I get commission off of anything they buy off eBay for like the next 24 or 48 hours.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, just a little hack right there, but who knows? Like you said, most people are probably just wiping their butt with it. Not that that's exactly what you said, but
if you get someone to buy it that might be in the business of cars and they end up buying a car and you get a nice little affiliate.
Boom, that would be sick. They buy a car off eBay Motors. Is that even a thing? It's eBay Motors still or no?
I have not been on eBay Motors in a long time.
Yeah, I had some friends in high school that were flipping cars on eBay Motors. This was in like 1999. Pretty crazy. They were like 16 years old flipping cars on eBay. Because I think at the time the market was heavily undersaturated, so you could make a good profit off of just picking up cars locally and putting them on eBay.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. If you're, first to market, you can command anything.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I think we've covered a lot of stuff. Is there anything else that you want to cover before we get off the show?
No, I think it's been pretty good interview.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Thanks for being on the show. If you guys are watching this, please remember to subscribe to Josh's YouTube channel. I will put the link down below in like the next 10 minutes. Usually on the show, we let the viewer ask the audience a question. I think I've forgotten to do this a couple times, but I want you to ask the audience a question. You can ask them anything, and then you'll probably get like 10 or 20 replies. And if you want to go on YouTube and read those or engage with the audience, you can do that.
All right. What's your guys' favorite food? And then also, what's your favorite brand to sell so I can steal it from you guys?
Right on. Good one. All right. And we got a saying around here we say. Do you know what it is?
You ain't flipping, you slipping.
Yep, you slipping. Don't be slipping. Thanks for being on the show, Josh. I'll see you on Instagram and YouTube, bro.
All right. Take it easy.
Yeah, have a good night.
That's it.